Hey, this is Tim Gross, and in this video I'm going to show you not one, not two, but three different ways to add melody on the piano to the song chords that you're playing without being able to read sheet music. That's the important part. I am famously against the time and effort. It takes hundreds of hours to even be able to stumble along to try to play sheet music, and for the vast majority of people, they really only need 5 to 10% of what you can get from sheet music. The rest of it's really not that useful because there are other things that you can do, patterns and formulas that you can use to fill in the rest. And so this is three different ways to add melody, and you're going to learn a bunch of other things along the way. So I hope you find this useful, but I do want to let you know one thing. This was not recorded to put out publicly. I'm wearing glasses in it. I just got out of the shower and I'm just going through just trying to help out a member on pianogenius.com who had a question about melodies. But by the time I was finished, I realized it was really helpful, and so I wanted to get it out to you. So hopefully you'll find this really useful. Let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. This video is in response to a member who was watching me play through the chords for Elvis Presley's Can't Help Falling in Love and wasn't able to hear the melody along with the chords. So the melody for that song, if you're hopefully familiar with it at all, kind of goes like this. Wise men say only fools rush in. Just so you're aware of when it's going up and when it's going down. And I played the root chords because this was kind of a beginning explanation. It was in Module 1. So first of all, let's find the key. I'm going to be playing it in C. So wise. Okay, so wise men say only fools rush in. Okay, and he wasn't able to, he was having trouble hearing that because at certain points the melody was going up and now the chords were going down, and other times the chords were going up and the melody was going down. So his brain couldn't really hear the melody. So let's just see what's going on here. So wise men. So for those two chords, the melody is going up with the chords. But the next one, the melody is going down, but I'm moving up. Say. So he really, when he was trying to sing along with it, not able to really hear the melody chord, it just didn't feel right in association with the chord. And then only fools, and the next one goes down and the chord goes down. Rush. But then in, vocally, melody goes down, but the chord's going up. In. So he just wasn't able to accompany himself and sing it. It just didn't feel right to him. So I want to address that and come up with multiple ways about how to get past it, okay? So first of all, this was in Module 1, so I was playing the root notes of each chord. So when it's a C, I'm playing the root on the bottom. When it's an E minor, I'm playing the root on the bottom. When it's an A minor, I'm playing the root on the bottom. But of course, there's three different ways to play any major or minor chord. You can play first inversion or second inversion, root, first inversion, second inversion, A minor, root, first inversion, second inversion. So the easiest way to sort of feel like the chords are supporting the melody is to play whatever chord inversion is closest to the melody note, so that the melody note is on top of the chord. So for instance, when we're playing C, wise. So we may not know the melody note, but hopefully you can kind of figure out what it is, like wise. Okay, so the first note is actually the root note of the song, wise. So it would actually be helpful to put that up on top. So if we took that root note and we put it up to here, wise. Now we're singing the note that's on the top of the chord, so you feel supported vocally. Wise. You don't have to, but it really helps define where the melody is. Okay, wise, and then men, wise men, men, wise men. Okay, so the second note is G. So wise men. And so we're playing E minor. So does E minor have a G in it? Yes, it does. It's right here. So we can take the G and we can put it on top. We can either go like this and go like that. And that will be considered E minor in the second inversion. Okay? So if we were to put those together, we would go wise men, and then say, say. Okay, so the melody is going, wise men say. And so my suggestion would actually be to write these notes above the chord notes. So where it says wise, where you're looking on the chord chart, just maybe in a red pen, just go write a little C, rise men. And above men, where it says E minor, just write a little G in red, knowing that you want to put that note on top, or at least that's where the melody is. And then for say, write a C again. So it's the same note, wise men say, but the first time we play, we're going, wise men say. So it sounds different, but the melody note's still the same, okay? And this is, if you look at the modules where I'm talking about how to integrate melody into chords, this is how we do it. But I'm not specifically trying to do that for you to play the melody, but just to be able to sing the melody and sort of feel what's going on. So I'm going to continue on explaining this for the next 2 lines here. But then secondly, there are times where the melody isn't in the chord you're playing. Maybe the chord is sort of simplified and they're sort of leaving out the note, and that actually happens on these 2 lines we're looking at here too. So when we get to that, I'll show you how to fix that, all right? So if you can hear it, the best thing to do is actually figure out the melody ahead of time. So wise men say, and then only, so those are pretty small walkthroughs, and we're in the key of C, so I'm just going to go only. All right, so wise men say, only fools rush in. All right, so the first line is all completely under our hand. Wise men say, only fools rush in. So I would write in red those notes in red above the chords of this. So it's going to be like this. Wise men say, only fools rush in. All right, and not saying you want to be playing those notes, but just to be aware of what they are, because once you know where those are, then you can start playing the correct chord inversion, so those are on top. You don't have to play the chord inversion where the melody is on top, but it really sort of helps support the melody. And if you're not that comfortable of a singer singing the song, you can actually hear it. Like, what's my note? Oh, wise, and then wise men. Oh, okay, there. And then say. Only fools rush in. All right, so that's something that you can work on if you want to. You don't have to have the melody on top, but once you get used to putting the melody on top as far as your chord inversions, it becomes pretty straight ahead to start adding the rest of the melody too. And maybe we'll get to that even in this video, okay? So let's just look at what we've got here. So we're starting here, so we're like, wise men say, and I'm going to skip the passing notes only, so I'm just going to play the chord notes. Wise men say, only fools rush in. Okay, wise men say, only fools rush in. So, wise men say, only fools rush in. Okay? And so that's just something you can get used to, and you just get used. So the way I would do it is you sort of play the first top note that you have written in red with your little finger, like wise men. What is it? Say, only fools rush in. And eventually you can start going, I'm jumping ahead here. Wise men say, only fools rush in. Kind of nice, right? Wise men say, only fools rush So I'm going to show you other ways to work out the melody if you can't hear what they are, and we'll get to that after this. But let's take a look at the second line, okay? But okay, so I can't help. We know we're in C major, so it's most likely all white notes, okay? I can't help falling in love with you. Okay, so again, we're going to write that down. So, but we're going to write A over the F chord. I can't. We're going to write B over the G chord. Can't help. We're going to write C and a little red note over the A minor. Help. And then for the F, falling. Listen to this. Falling. Okay. We're playing an F chord here, but it's a D note, which means that it's called not supporting. The chord doesn't support the melody note, okay? So that means you either just have to know that and just sing it. Falling in, falling in, falling in, falling in. That feels a little awkward, right? Falling in, falling in. The alternative is to add it to it. So if we were to play an F and then we just added the melody note, falling in, just so you know, that would be called an F6 chord, because we're playing the 1 and the 3 and the 5, and the 6 chord's a half step above. Falling in. You could also get rid of the 5 note here and go falling in, and that probably sounds better. So what that is actually is a D minor over an F chord. And the reason we might consider doing that is because the melody is the D. Falling in. The alternative would just try playing D minor. Let's see what happens with that. I can't help falling. You know what? D minor actually works too. Falling in, falling in, falling. So you could just cross out that F and write in D minor if you liked the way it sounded. Falling in. Or you could write, D minor over F. Falling in. Or you could just play the F and just know that when you try to sing it, fall, that it's not there, okay? But unless you have worked out the melody, you'll always be like, fa, 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 fa. You're basically sounds like you're singing out of key because you're, like I said, it's not supported, okay? Falling in, falling in. So D minor over A, F. Falling in love with you. Okay, so the second half. I can't help falling in love with you. Okay, so that's just the individual notes. And again, I'm not trying to work this out. I'm not trying to show you how to play the melody, although this really is like halfway to actually playing the melody, okay? But putting it on top, I can't help, and then I am going to play the D minor over F. Falling in love with you. Okay, so it's up to you how closely you want to have the inversions match the melody on top, but just be aware that changing the inversions so the melody is on top will make it a lot easier for you, okay? So let me just play through. I'll try to play through this whole thing once. I didn't write in the little red notes, so I don't even know if I'll play this right, but wise men say only a fools rush in, but I can't help, and then F over D, falling in. Let's see what D minor. I can't help falling in. Now, it's up to you. What do you like better? Neither of them is wrong. I can't help D minor over falling in love kind of do what I do, which is in, later modules showing you how to do that. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Okay, and so that's my suggestion, because you never even know if the melody doesn't fit the chord, like I can't help fall, unless you actually work out the melody. Okay, so let's say that you can't figure out the melody. You just can't. You're just going all day and you just can't figure it out. Well, there are other ways to look at it. So let's go over to, let's see, what am I trying to do here? First of all, there's what's called easy lead sheets, and this is on sheetmusicdirect.com, and it can be purchased, and I think you can transpose it. Maybe not, though. You'd have to double check on that. Unfortunately, it's in the key of F, okay? But this is what easy lead sheets look like. Is it tells you to play the F chord up on top with that little square there. Let me bring this up a little bit. Okay, so if we're playing an F, wise, and then in the note itself shows the F, so that means the melody's there. Wise, and then A minor, but it's telling me that the C's on top. And then D minor, but it says that the F is on top. So this is basically shortcutting what I had you do, which was to work it out and write it in little red letters. So so I'm a big fan of this. It's called Easy Play Today, and if you can go to my website on easyleadsheets.com, that has links to a bunch of stuff, or you can just search Easy Play lead sheets and you'll find them yourself. So anyway, but it just kind of does it for you. So the F chord, but then in the circle of the note is the F. Wise man say. And then if we scroll down, let's go to the next line. Only fools, and B flat and B flat are the same. Fools. So it's telling you to put the B flat on top. Fools. And then for F, it shows that the melody note's the A. Rush in, but G in. Oh, and it has an alternate chord. You see where it says C dominant 7 in? That means that you can play the dominant 7, but we're not going to bother with that. But I, so I is B flat, but the melody is D. I. And then it says to play, go to C, but the melody note's E. Can't. Okay, so that's one of the ways that is a great way if you're having trouble figuring out the melody yourself, or if you just don't want to. It's kind of good practice to work out melodies, but you can also just get one of these things, and you can buy a book with all these easy lead sheets, and that can save you a lot of trouble. Other ones, let's see what else I had found here. Oh, I found another one. This is again on Sheet Music Direct, and it just says preview only, but it just gives you a sense. But so the other way to do it is, this doesn't have the names of the notes written in, but it does show you the notes. So if you know that that's a C and that is a G, then you can do that. So you go, oh, okay. Wise, and then G on top, man. And if you don't know that that's a G melody note on the E minor right here, you can just get, the handy dandy, I have it, you can download it, so it just has every note on the treble clef, and you just kind of look at that and you go, okay, that's a G. And then the next one, A minor, you go, oh yeah, that's a C again, and then you check and you go, oh, that's a D and an E and an F. So I'm just showing you that that with this, you've got the notes, and so whether you know these notes or not, if you do, you can just write them in again, and I would just literally write them in, print it out and write it in. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just get the converter that I have, and you can just look and go, oh, okay, that's that's a G note, that's a C, that's a D, that's an E, that's an F, and you can just, go from one to the other. So that's three different ways to be able to figure out the melody. One, just by ear and just kind of, work it out like that. Two, easy play lead sheets, and you can go to easyleadsheets.com, which is my site that links to a bunch, or you can just search them out yourself, or you can find sheet music that has the melody written in along with the chords, and then use either if you know what the chords are yourself, or you can use the little translator where you have printed out and you can just compare and write in what the notes are. And this, as far as that this is a half note and that these are eighth notes, that stuff doesn't matter, because if you know the song, you know how fast something's going, right? Like, you don't need to know that these are half notes. You just need to know that it goes, wise men say only fools, because you know how it goes. So you don't really need to know how to understand the timing of this. You could, but your ear should basically tell you when the notes are going to happen, okay? So that's kind of it. That's the approach. But the main thing is that it is weird. Two things that are weird. One, when you're moving down to a chord but the melody is going up, or you're moving up to a chord and the melody is going down, that feels weird. So you can figure out an inversion that feels better, that sort of makes more sense with the melody you're singing. And secondly, sometimes melody notes don't exist in the chord that you're playing, and maybe you should actually change the chord so that the melody note is in there. And yeah, it takes a little bit of effort, but it's less effort than other ways to be able to do this well. All right. Hey, what did you think? Really important stuff here. I honestly do not want you to spend hundreds of hours trying to learn sheet music, when really you can just glean 5 to 10% of what you need from sheet music and move on with your lives, and take the rest of the hundreds of hours that you'd be putting into trying to learn sheet music into learning the techniques and the patterns and the formulas that will just allow you to play so many more songs in a fraction of a time. And that's what the pianogenius.com training is all about. If you want to try to grab a membership, see what you think, see if it works for you, and also go to easyleadsheets.com for links to those songbooks where you can get the help from there too. So I hope you found this useful. Let me know what you think. Looking forward to hearing from you soon as well. Thanks for watching.